Look at the painting my brother did. Gigamax Pikachu in a Dino Rider synergistic effect. Pretty crazy. Maybe like if there's like subs of the comment, share, support the channel if you want. I guess I could do a COVID thing, just trying to keep the channel active with anything, I guess. COVID 3 months later, I guess, what's going on. Extreme hair loss, all that kind of stuff. Man, I woke up today and Jesus Christ, I had just waking up, I counted 80 hairs, dude. Like, so I've been losing a lot of hair from this for the past month even. And I already had like a really bad health. Last year actually was probably the worst. It's weird because of the world being closed down. I didn't even really think of it, but in a way, last year was probably one of the worst health years I've ever had. Kind of crazy to think. It was for sure cluster headache wise. It was the worst I've had maybe ever, at least since I first got sick. And so I already had a really bad health year last way in any way. So I was like shedding a lot of hair. And then, COVID, you know what I mean? I've seen that some people as well, about 2 months after they have COVID, they start shedding a lot of hair. So that's been happening to me. I've been losing just a ton of hair. It's the most hair I've lost since I was dying. I mean, I can't even, where Jesus Christ, it's like I've tried to think, when is the last time I was just having chunks and chunks of hair come out? And I guess I've showed before, I have had some times where I've had like lupus, but like it's in like in a specific spot where it just like comes out or something like this. But this is just, kind of just that telugium, effluvium, whatever. And it's the most hair loss that I can ever think that I've lost at one time. So the hair loss has been extreme. And I just realized, you can see my pants are not even, I'm just getting dressed. I just realized my pants are not buttoned. Okay. I'm getting ready to go out for the day. I haven't even buttoned up my pants. So that's been extremely depressing, right? Just tons and tons of hair, dude. Like, and I've lost almost all my hair from being sick, the dying stuff before. I've had times, and I remember when I first got sick and I did all that radiation and all my hair was coming out, and it took me 2 years to grow back my hair. If you go look back on the pictures, I mean, that's why I was wearing that hat, dude. And I went back and even looked because I was using this thing called Topic for your hair to make it look like you have more hair. So, Jesus Christ, it took me 2 years before my hair grew back after all that. So I'm worried that is going to happen. You know what I mean? That I'm going to like, all my hair is going to, because it's coming out really fast. Like, I've showed on my Instagram stories and they're like, dude, I've literally had days where I've easily counted just like 300 hairs halfway through the day. And first of all, it's very fucking depressing to like do that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, am I going to lose all my hair again like I have before? So, I went to the doctor about it, and I tried to do PRP, and the PRP just exacerbated everything. And they're like, oh, that's very, very rare, but I guess that could happen. And then they tried to give me some like steroid cream, and this is just like, to calm down the inflammation after the PRP or whatever. And I'm like, oh God, this has gone terribly. So I'm very bummed about it. Like I said, it's not in one specific spot. You know what I mean? I'm probably doesn't look like, I know my cancer spot. I have that little cancer spot right there. I can feel the bump. I don't know if it's showing right there. Maybe my hair is still enough that you could see it. Like, so it's not like, in any one, it's kind of just all over coming out, but it's coming out really fast the past month, right? Especially after I did this PRP. So some people talk about COVID. Did they lose a lot of hair? I am losing a ton of hair, and I was already shedding from such a bad, health year anyway last year. You know what I mean? And now COVID exacerbated everything. And then I tried to do PRP, and that made it worse. So, with, oh man, I lost my train of thought. With, the fact that I've lost almost all my hair before, it is very depressing and discouraging because I seriously cannot remember the last time I've lost this much hair this fast since I was dying. You know what I mean? So I hope it stops, so that's depressing. But the point of this, though, I think the actual thing is, and can I smell? I maybe have like a third of my smell. You know what I mean? But the point of this, I would say, is so I had done all those monoclonal antibody therapies. You know what I mean? Of course, COVID, I was really sick, right? You know what I mean? I was in the hospital for a few days. So very, very. It was the sickest I've been since I was dying, probably. You know what I mean? At least since I was about 5, 6 years ago when I couldn't walk again. Um, I think probably a thought is, Clayton, do you actually regret not getting the vaccine when all of this stuff is happening now? You know what I mean? And the doctors even said, "Oh yeah, it looks like like some people I've seen online, they've lost, man, they got huge bald spots all over and all that kind of stuff." And I've been to a couple dermatologists now, and they're just like, "Yeah, you know what? We've had other patients who after COVID, you might lose half your hair, and that looks like it might happen to you. At the rate it's going, just like gobs and gobs." So the idea is like, man, do you regret not getting the vaccine? And the thing is, I have to say though, is health wise, I don't have a lot of excuses that I blame myself for health. Like, so what I mean is, I'm not anti-vaccine or something like that. That's not why I didn't get the COVID vaccine. I didn't get the COVID vaccine because I stopped getting vaccines so many years ago. I got really sick from a vaccine. And then after that, I was like, okay, maybe you shouldn't get vaccines now that this happened, right? That was many, many years ago, over 10 years ago. It was a long time ago. I had gotten a vaccine and I got really sick for months. I had low blood pressure for a few months after it. I had to switch my thyroid dose. It just really, it like kind of shocked my system into something. And like I said, I had low blood pressure for a few months after. So after that, I've never had one. So it's like, it wasn't anti-vaccine why I didn't get the COVID thing. Of course, for sure, there's a lot of COVID propaganda in the media, which is not giving me a boner to get it in the first place. But on some level, so many people, and I was almost tempted to show a text that I got from a girl I was talking to because she got COVID, even though she got all these vaccines for it. She's boosted all this stuff and she still got COVID anyway. And I'm like, so do you regret getting the COVID vaccine? And what she told me was, I should look to go see the exact quote, but it was something like, you know what? I do a lot of drugs. I don't work out. I don't sleep a lot. I know I'm not healthy, so that's why I get vaccines. And you know what? So many people, as you can see, nothing yet. My pants are not done yet, dude. I should have put on I'm sorry I didn't put on my pants before I got in here. So many people, I think, are like that, right? They're like, oh yeah, I get the vaccine because I'm trying to be healthy. I want to be the most healthy person I can be. And it's like, but you don't work out. You say that all you do is do drugs and get drunk all the time anyway. That's why you get vaccines. And how many times have you seen people, oh, I want to get the vaccine because I want to be super healthy, and they're 300 pounds. Do you really care about being healthy if you're 300 pounds? If you're doing drugs all the time, getting drunk? And, I talked to her, and I guess, there's definitely a perspective as like a young girl, maybe just a woman in general. God, this sounds kind of bad, right? I mean, I think what I'm getting at is you might lean towards this more. You might lean towards this more, that you think of like that sort of, it sounds, I was talking to someone else who's messaging me right now, I can see. We're talking about like the shelf life of a girl. A woman's shelf life feels so much shorter than a man or whatever, so that's why women are more prone to they do so many drugs when they're younger, much more so than a guy maybe, right? And I was talking to the girl, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like that catch-22, you're young, you want to go out, you want to get fucked up, fuck a bunch of guys, in secret, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Because you're worried that, you only have so much of a life, right? It was kind of a blunt conversation, right? But it's kind of a catch-22. You want to be healthy, but then you want to live your life. You want to do drugs and have all this kind of fun stuff. But, what I'm getting at is so many people that talk about that they want, to be healthy, but what are they actually doing? And I've said this before. When I was dying in the hospital, it took me a year before I could even work out again. And my life is dedicated to being healthy. You know what I mean? It took me a year before I could even work out again after I was dying. And and now my life is dedicated to health, right? A lot of times I feel like I'm pushing myself too hard. So how can I have regrets when the reason for me not getting the vaccine is because I've had a bad experience, and because I already know that my life is dedicated to being healthy. Did you get what I'm? Did you get what I'm getting at? COVID was supposed. I'm the person that COVID is supposed to be sick. I am the person who has all these autoimmune problems, all this kind of stuff. I got it at this movie shoot I was at, and there's other people there, and only I think most of them just said, "Oh, I lost my taste or my smell," for like a day or two. Then it was back. I felt a little sick for a couple days, then I was fine. Me, oh yeah, I was the sickest I've been since I was dying. I was in the hospital. I was I was at the point right before delusion, right? But on a certain level, that is supposed to happen to me. Do you know what I mean? So how can I blame myself? I took the, thing. I take the oh God, I can't think of the English word. I took the pre-measures, whatever I do. You know what I mean? I try to be as healthy as I can be. How can I blame myself when I know that I'm trying to be the best person I can be? The only health thing that I potentially might be a hindsight is 2020 thing is eventually if I ever do TRT, I might be like, wow, I should have done this so long ago. I've had testosterone problems for so many years now. You know what I mean? I should have done this a long time ago now. That could be a hindsight 2020 kind of thing that I could blame on myself. But just in general, health, how do I blame myself? Do you know what I mean? How do I legitimately blame myself when I'm trying to be as healthy as I can be? And plus, I also said even before that, you know what I mean? I think one of the reasons COVID hit me so hard is because I said early in this video, this was the worst cluster headache period year I probably ever had in my life, besides maybe when I first got sick. I mean, at one point, I had 5 days where I just didn't sleep. You know what I mean? Because it was just on and off for like 5 days, dude. For like a week. You know what I mean? Completely fucked up, dude. And the kind of you could kill me pain. I can't fucking defend myself. I was not sleeping at all. It was not good. So you talk about someone who has a lot of health problems. His body is already killing himself. Who was in a bad period of health before all this happened. Then had COVID. What am I going to do? So I guess the point of this video is, you know what I mean? I guess some people are like, oh, they searched COVID hair loss. Yeah, I'm losing tons of hair. I've had days I've probably, like I said, I've counted 300. Who knows what I've missed? I could be losing 500 hairs a day all over. It's the worst hair loss I've had since I was dying. You know what I mean? Since I almost lost all my hair. Hopefully it eventually stops. It's been going on for a while now, right? But even with saying as bad as everything has been, do I blame myself? How do I blame myself when I've already said that I've tried to make sure in my life, if I ever have an excuse, it's an excuse that I can live with. And maybe not in all aspects of my life have I been great about this, but health-wise, everything besides that, like I said, TRT, if I ever do that, that might be a hindsight is 2020 kind of thing. Health-wise, I can't be mad at myself. Anyway, remember if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. Thumbnail. I don't know. Thanks to the end.